What's up, guys? My name is Ben Day with Lionshare Bookkeeping Landlord CFO, and today we're going to talk about why big checks don't always equal big profits. Welcome back. Today I want to really dive into something that just really bothers me, but also gets me really excited about real estate investing. And so if you haven't already, what I want you to begin to think about is when you see big checks in real estate, what does that actually mean? Really begin to think through this if you haven't thought through this before, because it's all over the place. You go to a RIA, you go to a conference, you go into Facebook groups and you see people posting pictures of checks or posting pictures of their HUDs where they've got a little circled like, hey, we made $30,000 on this wholesale deal. And first of all, I am so proud of every single person who's been able to get that done. Making money like that, it just takes a whole different level of mindset and commitment. You can get there. Everybody can get there. So first, bravo to them. However, anytime I see a picture of a check, my first thought is, what's behind that number? Like, how many hours did it take you to get there, and what other costs are involved? And so big checks don't equal big profits. That's really what I want to begin to pull apart today. And here's why. I really want to discuss that, first of all, big checks I think are just bad, first of all, because it's beginning to set an unrealistic expectation. If people think, oh, that guy just flipped a house and he deposited $115,000. Well, that's fine, but you don't know how much of that $115,000 is actually him recouping cost on his flip, how much of that he then has to pay out to a JV partner who actually brought the down payment or the equity. You just don't know what those numbers are. Time after time, especially with house flipping, we see folks that think they made $115,000 on a deal. They split it in half, send it to a JV partner, and then they talk to us and we say, hey, listen, you got $115,000 at closing, but your profit was more like 50, and you paid your partner $65,000, which means technically you lost $15,000 on this deal. And then it's like, that's a lot of numbers. Everybody's confused. And then it shakes out on their tax return and they say, Ben, why didn't you tell me? And I say, I did. Here's all the numbers. How can we keep this from happening next time? Because now I'm on the team and I want to make sure that you keep all the money that you need to. And all of this could have been avoided if we just knew, and if it was just common knowledge for everybody, that big checks in real estate do not always mean, hey, you made a whole bunch of money. We've seen people deposit large checks even though they lost money on a deal. And it doesn't even have to be as complicated as what I just said. If you put $150,000 into a house of your own cash, after all the loans and the down payments and everything, you put an extra 150 in, and then at the closing table, you get 100 back, you're down $50,000 in your cash. That's just the way that it is. So your proceeds, the check at the table, whatever you get deposited in your account isn't profit. It's just cash. We have to find the profit by using great accounting and bookkeeping strategies. So it really just, big checks are bad just because it puts us in a weird headspace. We need to have a good way to really measure that cash and find what the true profit is on these deals. Now, big checks can also be good. Like, at the end of the day, we really believe that there's three kinds of money that you can make in real estate. You can make a little bit of money, like through being a W-2 or having a business that makes you a little bit of money, like a property management, maybe wholesaling, maybe bookkeeping services, whatever it is. But these big checks are where you can find the most momentum. If I can put a $10,000 down payment down on a property and then recoup that 10 grand plus an extra 15 to 20 to $50,000 on a flip, now suddenly I've really grown my cash very rapidly. We love that stuff. I can do that 3-4 times a year. I'm going to have way more cash at the end of the year than I did at the beginning, which means I can buy more properties, which means I can make more money, which means I can flip more houses and buy more properties and make more money and flip more houses. And then it just scales up indefinitely. We love that stuff. And we really like big checks for that if we can structure it the right way. Now, listen, we want to make sure that you've got this covered. We see house flippers mess this up all the time. And especially if you're getting into a situation where you're investing with a partner, you want to be crystal clear that every conversation you have about money is the right, fully informed, easy to understand conversation about money. Communicating about real estate, finance, and accounting and cash flow can be overwhelming. So what we've done is put together a free class where we can really help you dive into what exactly exactly do all of these terms mean? How can you begin to understand this? And how can you begin to explain it to your partners, whether it's a business partner, a life partner, whatever, how your money is flowing and how you can best track that and manage your finances to scale. You can find that link in the notes section below. Now, how we make the most out of big checks, how to really begin to apply these beyond just investing is, multifaceted. Having those big checks do provide a big purpose. So don't just discount them or hate them. Let's just reapply them the right way, right? The best way to use a big check whenever you get a big check at closing or big proceeds, first is you just got to be proud of yourself. Like, you just closed a huge deal, most likely, and you need to be just thankful, first of all, that you have the opportunity and that it's going to inspire you to go and do the next deal. From there, you can absolutely do what everybody else is doing and use that check as marketing, and make sure that you position that in such a way so you can say, hey, we just paid our joint venture partner $53,000. Here's a picture of the check. Thank you so much for helping us out. Does somebody else want a joint venture with us? Or, hey, we just helped this, and this happen. We helped our sellers get this much at closing, even though they had a problem property. They're so grateful. Make that part of your marketing. It's just going to help you build your business in other ways than just financially. From there, absolutely fundamentally, when you get big checks like that, you need to make sure that all cash gets returned to the right place first. Before you start splitting profits or anything like that, if you've got a credit card that you carried a balance on, you need to pay that credit card off. If you pulled $50,000 out of a savings account, you need to put that 50 grand right back. Like, you need to make sure that your cash goes back to the right place before you start splitting up your profits. Once the cash has all gone back to the right place and you've still got cash left over, that's when we can really begin to see real accounting. That's when we can begin to see, okay, here's how much money we actually made. Here's what we have left going on. Let's do some real accounting, calculate our taxes, see what our gross profit, our net profit is, all of that fun stuff. And then you can do an equity payout if you need to, whether that's a joint venture or you're just paying yourself. But you need to do these in the right order in order to maximize the most without giving away all of your profits effectively, which we see too often in a big check situation. That's it, guys. Thank you so much for hanging out. Be sure to comment below. What did you think about how we've pulled apart big checks? What questions do you have? How can you best begin to leverage these in your business? Let us know. We're happy to give you our feedback, and we'll see you in the next video.